So one thing that I really just started implementing in my life was, not doing things because you feel obligated. And another thing that I've been doing on the low is, you know, um, kind of like measuring the amount of output or input or emotional, input I put into other people's lives, depending on the return of, like, are they going to appreciate it? So, there are some people that, your work, your job, your ex, your second grade teacher, whoever, they just won't appreciate shit. But you might kind of give them, well, save your energy. Do you know what I mean? So it's like my work kept calling me, on Monday, and I had to work Monday, and I said, oh, they're probably calling me to come in earlier, which I'm not, because one, they won't appreciate it. You know what I mean? Or they called me. I haven't had a fucking 2 days off in a row in like 57 days, so they called me on my Saturday off, and I'm like, I'm not even answering the phone, because if I did come in, they wouldn't appreciate it, and I'm not saying you gotta like kiss my ass or, oh, you're such a great worker thing, but just a little ounce of gratitude goes a long way when you're trying to, when you want to feel like, what you're doing is, everybody wants to be acknowledged in some sense of, some of us more than others, but just said, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not fucking changing my days off. So yesterday I was off, but Monday they kept calling me to come in. What they wanted to tell me was, don't come in and change your day off and come in on your day off, but swap days. So basically I come in and they're like, hey, we've been trying to call you, the truck didn't come in, and we were going to ask you. So my boss comes up to me, this is the fucking same coward who allowed this bitch to fucking bully everybody and write me up for some shit that I didn't do. And yeah, she's fired and all this shit. But now he's like being a little girl about stuff because he's intimidated by me or whatever. And that's fucking on him. I'm not a fucking guy that goes around intimidating people. Do you know what I mean? I kind of am a pretty comical, fun, approachable person. So he don't ever want to tell me anything, privately. So he tries to like say shit when we're in a meeting about me, like, oh, some of you guys are, leaving and changing your clothes and, going places and coming back later. And it's like, yeah, I said, I don't know if you're talking about me in front of everybody, but I go home to take care of my dog. I'm taking care of a living animal. I'm not going to the pizza parlor down the street and sitting there on playing Minecraft or Fortnite or some bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm doing like, I don't even get a lunch because I'm on a bike at home, back on a bike, while you guys are sitting around eating Hot Pockets and shit. So they were like, yeah, we just wanted to see, and now it's like 4 o'clock and I'm at work. We just wanted to see if you wanted to switch your day, so you have two choices. You can either come back tomorrow and work that day and then take today off. And I said, well, why would I come back tomorrow if I'm already here? Like my life would, my day would be set up completely different if I was off. It's already 4 o'clock. I'm only going to be up for another 5 hours. I might as well just work till midnight tonight. And so they were like extremely bummed out, like that dude, you got 12 college kids to fucking unload the truck. You make it sound like, like you're like all the progress is going to stop because it's just, so whatever it is, I'm not fucking playing these passive aggressive, like the manipulative techniques that, people use, like my ex or these pussies out here in the world try, they just, act all sheepish and their feelings are hurt. Then another supervisor comes up to me. He's like, oh, you're going to work tonight? And I'm like, yeah, it's 6 o'clock. I would have went home if I was going home, or I would go home and be off tomorrow. Like, cause this isn't my life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't respect the output that I put in here. You know, you guys get to go, you know, listen, I chose the life I have. I like to be active. I like to be at the gym. I like to be on my bike. I like to be outside. I like to be physical. I like to feel the way I do. You guys chose a different path, and that's fine. But my path, I have to take a little bit more time to, you know, to myself, for recovery, to rest, to do shit around my house, you know, like I leave my dog. I gotta fucking be, you know, like, you know, I gotta sit on, you know, believe it or not, you know, they want, you know, your dog wants to spend time with you. You gotta sit down on the couch and, let him lay on you for 20 or 30 minutes and talk to him. You know, it's, you know, they're like people, you know. I don't have a life where like these people go home and, you know, and you know, that's fine. You know, you want to go home and waste your time being indoctrinated with fake news and fucking political bullshit and not fucking watch what you eat and take your antidepressants and everything else and be programmed like a fucking robot, then you do your thing. But I'm an individual. I'm not going to be doing shit for people, you know, because, oh, you know, they might fucking fire me then. I'll find another job. I don't know if people don't know this, but there's not a lot of people that don't want to work. So I could just tell you go ahead and fire me. You're not going to have anybody that's going to step up. We're already 4 people short. So I'm just tired of feeling fucking obligated. And even though I'm not going to respond to being obligated, I'm just not going to allow it to influence. You know, I guess 7 minutes into this video, I should have probably said that a little bit earlier, but I just kind of thought of it now. I'm not going to let it influence me, you know. I'm doing me, you know. I'm not anybody's chiropractor. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a drug counselor. I'm not a personal trainer. I give people some advice. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't, get the fuck out of my way. You know what I mean? I'm not wasting time on people, you know. I've had a couple people for the sobriety and the life coaching shit. You know, they're ready to pay you money just because they think that because they're paying you that you're going to agree with them. You're not going to pay me and I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. You're going to hear what I feel like you need to hear because you have to take accountability and ownership and be real and sincere. And there's just a lot of insincerity in today's world. There's a lot of talk. You know, there's a lot of talkers out there. Talk. I'm so fucking tired of talking about shit. I want to see people work, okay? Girl I know at the store, she's like, yeah, you know, she wanted to go to the gym. Blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you how many people want to go to the gym. You want to know how many people that have my phone number that want to go to the gym actually call? Fucking 0. You know what I mean? And I told her, she's like, well, I'm in school and blah, blah. I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, what's the holdup? She's like, well, you know, I said, you know, don't procrastinate. Get on this shit. You know what I mean? You can go to school and go to work and go to the gym. You ain't got any kids or anything. Even if you do have kids, you can still go to the gym. You know what I mean? You can still be active. You know, people just think that things are going to happen without putting any equity or any blood or any sweat or tears into this shit. And life just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to sacrifice, you know, maybe stop reading your comic books and doing crossword puzzles and go outside and walk for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe get off the couch. And I hate to tell everybody, but the Maury Povich episodes and Jerry Springer episodes, they're all the same fucking episode for the rest of your life. So you're not missing anything. What value is that bringing into your life? You know what I mean? What value? Well, I can tell you there's a lot more value going outside, walking around, you know, feeling good, getting some oxygen, not being in the house with radiation and fallen angel technology beaming into your fucking brain. And I mean, like, television just depresses the fuck out of me, you know? Like, television is just so depressing. Like, even like, you know, like I watch myself, like sometimes I get up in the morning and I'll look at the shorts on YouTube, the short videos, and just seeing how neurotic and idiotic and narcissistic people are, like, that you fucking spent how God knows how long to learn some kind of like dance moves and film it and put it on the internet. And for what? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, there's so many people that if they really took an honest inventory of what their life is and what they're doing with their life, I don't think they'd be able to handle that they're not doing anything with their life. You know what I mean? Like, people just don't want to do anything with their lives. You know, you're given one life, man. This shit is so fragile and so quick and over so fast, you know, and you're just finding like, you know, life is like, it's all commercials to keep you away from the truth, and not the truth about there's no outer space or no one's going to the moon or anything. But yeah, that's part of it. You know, the truth is that you were sent here and you have, you know, a higher sense of purpose, and you're capable of a lot more things than you allow yourself to be, you know, and you allow bullshit and commercials and you know, infomercials into your life, you know, and it stops you from really exercising that autonomy of being an independent, free thinking, you know, individual that, you know, I don't want any fucking negative shit in my life. Do you know what I mean? I don't want any negative shit in my life. Had this girl I met at the gym. She keeps calling me and calling. We never slept together. I never slept with her. I never even blew her a kiss, but we were talking and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, like, start making me feel like it's a job. Like I got to call her. And like she calls me like 3 or 4 times. And guess what? I'm not calling you back. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't have to call you. You're not my mom. You know what I mean? If I want you in my life, you'll be in my life. And that goes for anything, you know, or anybody, you know. Nobody's going to hold me hostage, you know. Don't allow people or, you know, like coworkers or family members or girlfriends or boyfriends, you know, to hold you hostage, you know, because you might not realize it, but you don't even want to talk to the person, but you just go, oh, I got to return their phone call. Well, do they have fucking cancer? Are they dying? No, they just want you to validate their feelings, and they want to, you know, because they're clingy, they want whatever it is. But you have to be a free agent. You know, life is, I always say this about dating. Now is probably not the best time to start dating or meeting people. Okay, I'll just be honest with you. So I have no interest in, you know, doing anything with anybody. I'm not like my ex who needs people to validate her feelings because she's insecure with whatever the fuck happened in her life. That's what she needs, you know, and she'll allow any loser or any crackhead to come into her life to, you know, make her feel better about herself. I don't have that as my shit. You know what I mean? We all have shit. That's just not my thing. So I just don't need a girlfriend or a gym training partner to make me, you know, do the shit, do it yourself. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to do things for you, you know? And if you do things for others, don't spend too much time doing things for others, okay? Because people need to do shit themselves, you know? And don't be a person that, I've never been a person that needs to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? I'm not a person that needs to have a girlfriend. I've been single and alone. I've slept more with my cat next to me than I have with any other human being. This last relationship was one of the longest relationships I've had since high school. I like being alone. I like being independent. I like being able to not have, you know, and I like, you know, and if it's in the right person, you know, and there were goods and bads in the last, you know, situation and all that shit. But, you know, don't be afraid to just, you know, I think a lot of people are just really afraid to find out who they really are. And you don't really find out in life what you're made of. You don't really find out in life what you're made of unless you allow yourself to go through things and give them to God. And, you know, I always just say, like, there's so many basic things in life that people just don't do, and they don't, and they're missing out on seeking, the kingdom of God and giving your life to Him and having, prayer dialogue. And I know people go, oh, well, you have a filthy mouth and all that stuff. Well, I don't have a filthy heart, okay? And if you knew what my intentions were, and if that stops you from watching and whatever, that's fine too. Do you know what I mean? But I'm being real and I'm being sincere, and I allow things and film things, and I'm not going to dress this up and, cut it and edit it and make myself sound a lot more articulate and a lot more, whatever, like that. I'm not. This is who I am. You give your life to God, you live for Him, acknowledge Him in all things, seek Him first, and all the other things in life that you need. If He needs you to get a girlfriend or a wife or a whatever, or He'll provide it for you. You don't even have to go look. If I need a new job, people are like, well, because I've said I'm going to probably leave this job and get back into pest control. I'm not even going to look on the internet for a job. Well, how are you going to find? God will provide that for me. He will provide a way into my, it will just happen. You know what I mean? Like if you're really seeking Him and that's what He wants for your life, I stopped doing what is, best for me, but by doing what's best for Him. What does He want from me? Well, He wants more than you to be a good person, because that's kind of a blanket thing or people say, oh, I'm spiritual. And, that's just a nice way of saying, well, I'm a good person. I'm not a good person. You know what I mean? He wants you to be real. He wants you to be sincere. He wants you to have dialogue with Him. He wants you to pray. All of this stuff is all of this stuff is just so simple, to do. I just don't know how people don't do it. You know what I mean? Because they either don't want to, or they're not ready, or they think they're fooling people. You're not fooling God. You're not fooling yourself. Get on your knees, be sincere with Him, and that's when, change and stuff starts happening. And when you're watching TV and you're eating microwave soft pretzels with caramel oozing out of them and stuff like that, you might not really need or think that you need it, but there's something missing in your life. You didn't choose to be here. You didn't design your body. You didn't even know. You just happened to hop out in this live video game that we call life. And wouldn't you want to get closer to knowing Him and knowing what His will is for your life, and not needing drugs or alcohol to, you've got to get down to root causes. You've got to get down to facing issues. You've got to get down to, just asking Him to show you things that you might not see. You've got to get rid of people, places, and things. I say it all the time, like this person calls me and I'm like, oh, it's so-and-so from the gym, 2 days later, she calls again. 4 hours later, she calls again or texts, hey, I've been trying. Yeah, I know you're trying to get a hold of me. I know. I would get a hold of you if I wanted to talk to you. So the one big thing I've stopped doing is out of obligation, I'm only doing things that I feel like God wants me to do, that are good for me, that aren't, things that are only, make me prosper and be successful, because a lot of people that's just a selfish way of doing things. I live my life for God, for others, for people, but don't be afraid to spend, is it a woodpecker? Don't be afraid to spend time out of social media. I'm not going to comment on every comment that somebody leaves. I'm behind on my YouTube comments because I lost YouTube Studio when I got this phone, so it's hard sometimes. And then when I comment, it doesn't, long story short, but, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, and I don't want to hear shit from people, like a guy gave me a compliment at the gym. I'm not one of these people that needs to hear, oh yeah, man, you look like you're, whatever. I know what I look like, you know what I mean? But I'm not in some delusional land where I think I look like Mr. Olympia. When people fill your head up with all these compliments and stuff, and, you kind of stop working as hard, so Just go out there and stop fronting, stop lying to yourself, stop living a shitty life, stop making excuses, stop procrastinating. Just stop and start. That's all I can tell people. Stop and start. Stop doing this bullshit that you know is bullshit, that you know, and win the small little victories, whether it's you didn't watch TV today for 4 hours, you watched it for 3. Start somewhere, but start.